Hey everybody, so we have kept you waiting long enough. We talked in our last episode 52 about my mystery sweater, and today we're going to reveal what it is and how I did it. So grab something warm to drink and your favorite project and yarn over with us.
And I said, you have just made my day.
Hello, so glad that you're back with us, and we are excited to share, like Linda mentioned, her mystery sweater. I am Susie Lanier, and I am from Huntsville, Alabama, and we are glad that you're here to hear the secret.
My name is Linda Belcher, and I live in Rockwell, North Carolina, and this is going to be a little bit of a different episode, but we're going to share what I have done with my sweater because you might want to do it too.
Yeah, I might even want to do it.
I think so. So here we go. Full disclosure, it has been 2 weeks since our recording of our intro, but here we are. Life happened, and Susie is actually on an adventure with her grandchildren. So I needed time to finish my sweater, and it's time for our next episode anyway. So I'm just going to share a little bit with you about my mystery sweater. They say that necessity is the mother of invention, and I did have a need. I needed to knit a sweater that I could use some yarn that I had, a pattern that I felt comfortable and confident with, and of course one that I could know that was going to fit. And the Ranunculus fits all of that category, but here was my need. The Ranunculus yoke is so distinctive. I already had 3 sweaters with that pattern in it, and I didn't want another one. So I got thinking, what if I used the bones of the Ranunculus and kind of did my own thing for the yoke so it doesn't look like a ranunculus? And that's what I did. And the yarn that I wanted to incorporate is called Bamboo Bloom, and we talked about it on our other episode. But as you can see, it changes its weight or thickness. I mean, look at these two right here. It's quite dramatic. And but I think it is so pretty and it's so fun. And I wanted the yarn to be the pattern instead of a pattern being the pattern. So I had 2 skeins of my DK, and then I had one of these. So I thought, what could I do? So that's what I decided to do. I will say from the very beginning, you're going to need the Ranunculus pattern. You won't understand anything about this really unless you have the pattern. I don't want to take anything away from Midori Hirose because she's a rock star for inventing the pattern. If you haven't already made the Ranunculus, it's probably because you don't know how to make it work with the yarn that you want to use. This video right here is going to help you. This is the video that you need to watch, and you will be able to just sail through with your yarn, and you will have a sweater that fits you the way you want. If you already have the pattern, you can pull it up and follow along with me because I'm going to show you step by step with each of the yoke rounds what I did to get this look. So here we go. The first thing you're going to want to do is the swatch so you know what needle size you're going to use, which is I talk about in the Knit to Fit video. The Ranunculus is based off of a size 10 needle, but that's not going to look good with all yarn, and it may not give you the fabric you want. A size 10 needle with this, I'd have to wear a cami underneath. So, you know, you're going to want to figure out which needles you're going to use. Then I, of course, went down 1 size for my ribbing, and I made my first modification. And that was I go ahead and cast on all the stitches and do not do any increases. It's simply because I don't like a closed neck sweater. I like it a little bit more open. Then I did the short rows. Oh, change your needles. Then I did the short rows as prescribed. And then we began with the bamboo bloom. So now we're going to jump into round 2. And that, of course, I changed my yarn to the bamboo bloom. And from now on, I'm going to call this coordinating color because yours is going to be different. So I changed yarns and I knit rows 2 to 4. When you change, you can just let your yarn hang and pick it up when you change again. It's a very short distance. Just leave your yarn a little bit loose for some blocking, stretch, and just don't worry about it. Just pick it up the next time around. Round 5, you're going to change back to your main color, and it is our first increase round, and you're going to do the right leaning increase that's prescribed in the pattern. And you should end up with the same amount of stitches that they say at the end of round 5. Round 6 and 7, knit. In round 8, we switch to our coordinating color and we do the increase that is on the pattern. And the next 3 rows after that, we're going to knit. In row 13, you're going to switch to your main color and you're going to knit rows 13 through 16. Row 17 is an increase round, and the increase is as follows. Knit 4, right leaning increase, and knit 1. If you've done the other right leaning increases in the pattern, like on round 4, you understand what's happening here. So it's knit 4, right leaning increase, knit 1. On round 18, you switch to your coordinating color and you're going to knit row 18 through 25. Switch yarns in row 26 and knit rows 26, 27, 28, 29. Row 30, you switched your coordinating color and knit rows 30 through 32. Now in row 33, we have our final increase. Do it by the pattern and make sure you end up with the prescribed amount of stitches. And then we end it with row 34 and we knit. Then you're going to continue on with your main color to section 4 and just do the rest of the pattern as the original pattern. I finished the sweater with 40 rows for my sleeves and 10 in the rib edging in the twisted rib. Finished the bottom rib band per the pattern with the twisted rib, and I always do the Rook sewn bind off because I just think it's so pretty. So that's what I did to make my ranunculus not look like a ranunculus, but I still use the amazing pattern to get me through. So hopefully that inspired you to do something a little bit different with a pattern you already have. And when you finish those sweaters, don't forget to submit them to our spotlight because we'd love to show everybody what you created. So until next time, happy knitting. Bye everybody.